What is the ocean to you? To me, it's always been a scary place. I think of ravenous creatures deep down below the surface. Far away from the sun's reach, they remain hidden, lurking, biding their time until human eyes catch a fleeting glimpse of them, at which point it's too late for the observer. They're an afternoon snack. The undocumented creature remains undocumented, and they go about their business in the deep dark. Compare the mystery and horror of an ocean like that to an ocean like this. This is Loddlenaut, a game that is terrifying in no way whatsoever. It's peaceful, serene. Let's take a brief look at some of my favorite spots from the world of GUP 14. Welcome to Video Game World Tours. This game has you cleaning up after Guppy, a megacorporation that abandoned this planet and left it polluted. It's one of those games that has you exploring an environment and using one of various tools to make everything nice and shiny. They make that process so satisfying in this game. The color palette the game uses is so charming. I just love to see all the purple gunk get blasted away, revealing the beauty underneath. Take Ripple Reef, the first region you're assigned to clean up. The centerpiece of this area is the big rock in the center. It has all these colorful bits of marine life covering it. I don't know much about stuff in the ocean, so I can't quite tell you what all this is supposed to be, but I can tell you that it just feels right. Are these sponges or something? They're all over the place. Oh, and the anemone, I definitely know that. It's so satisfying to float through it and watch how it reacts. I like these holes in the sides of the rock that are filled with it. You can practically hide in here. I bet this feels so good for the little guy. And these big tube things. They release air bubbles so you can refill your oxygen tank, but you can also go inside. Nothing to see in here, just a cozy little spot. There's an equally cozy spot inside the main rock. All these colors surrounding you in a little enclosed space. This feels like home in a way. Let's venture over to Flotsam Flats and take a look at that region. Oh, before that, I want to bring up all the empty space between the main regions. Part of the challenge for this game is maintaining your oxygen levels. You can only be away from a source of air for so long, so they put in a good bit of terrain between the different regions. Kinda gets you to think of the best route to your current objective, and it has you looking for these little oxygen-supplying sponge things. But there's a lot of stuff to clean that you don't really need to. Like, I have no reason to clean this, or pick up this trash. I mean, it's useful for character upgrades, but you get enough of those materials from completing the main objectives. You don't need to scavenge around for extra plastic or metal. But it's kinda nice to. It's nice to just clean up things that need cleaning, even if there's no real benefit to you. That's the whole point of this game, to clean up the environment. It feels good to do your part in making this already beautiful environment even more beautiful-er. And some of these areas are really out of the way. If you want to be the best interstellar custodian you can be, you'll have to truly exhaust this map looking for every nook and cranny. It feels good to do it though, to clean up this little pocket of the world that very few people have probably cleaned up. This is a relatively small indie game. It has just over 1,000 reviews, which isn't nothing, mind you, but in the grand scheme of everything on Steam, I'd be willing to call it a hidden gem. So I wonder how many people have cleaned this bit of gunk, or picked up this bit of trash. It's way out of the way from all the main objectives. Could I have been the first person to clean up this part of the ocean? Perchance. Alright. Flotsam Flats. The eye-catcher of this region is the big boat balanced precariously between two rocks. This is where you start to get a little taste of the people that were here before you. They obviously had a lot to transport across these oceans, but what was it? Where was this ship built? How did it end up here at the bottom of the ocean? I like games that make you ask questions like that, but don't provide answers. This game doesn't offer much in the way of backstory. You'll find some holo badges that give a tiny bit of backstory, and you're occasionally told some by your handler, Dave, but that's it. Your mind is left to wander as to the purpose of all the things you'll find down here. I know it might seem kinda cheap from a writing perspective, but I think it's actually the right choice a lot of the time. Leave the player wanting more. Create a mystery in their mind, rather than spelling it out for them. Huh, the scale feels kinda off here. This seems relatively small for a cargo ship. Truly reinforces the question of just what were they transporting on these? Kinda cozy in here. Outside I noticed some wooden bridges. Were these built down here? Or did they fall from above? Yet again, I find myself wondering about the world we can't see. There's some even smaller boats. Were these for fishing? Do they fish for Loddles? Oh my gosh, Loddles! I can't believe I've made it this far in the video without addressing the creature the game is named after. Loddles are little fish creatures that you can find inhabiting the various regions of the ocean. When you first enter a region and it's all gunked up, the Loddles are gunked up as well. You need to clean them off so they can be happy and eat again. Once they live and eat long enough, they'll eventually produce offspring. With that, plus a clean environment, you have a perfect recipe for a flourishing Loddle population. They really help with the vibe of the game. Having all the different breeds and colors of Loddles floating about, doing their own thing while you clean up the environment, it kinda gives you purpose. Now you're not just cleaning up the environment because the game tells you to, you're doing it to help these lovely creatures. Look, you can even pet them. So cute. And you will want to return to past regions, because the gunk doesn't stay gone once you clean it up. It comes back. Not with a vengeance, really, though I guess it does want to spread as much as possible. My point is, it's super gradual. Little bits of purple gunk reappear, trash magically materializes, the environment starts to get a bit dirty again, which can lead to your Loddles getting gunked. You don't want them to be sad, right? So you better keep up routine maintenance. It kinda creates the illusion of a functioning ecosystem. You clean off the environment, which allows for plants to grow. Loddles can feed off those plants and prosper, but then the gunk comes back and tries to spread itself. It never just settles, it feels authentic. Even ignoring all that I described leading up to this point, even if you took none of that into consideration, there'd still be some indescribable quality that draws me to this world. There's something special about just hanging out in this game. The colors, the models, the sounds, it all comes together so nicely. More than the sum of its parts, you know? Oh my god, the music! I know I started out this video mentioning how I think about scary stuff when I think of the ocean, but the one exception to that is video game ocean tracks. In literally every game that has a song for an underwater level, I fall in love with it. Aquatic Ambiance from Donkey Kong Country. Crashed Frigate Orpheon from Metroid Prime. The underwater theme from Super Mario 64. Come on, this is all just beautiful. And Loddlenaut here. This soundtrack is literally all classic video game underwater tracks. You've heard it throughout this video, it's all peak. And it definitely plays into why I like this world so much. Imagine if the game was full of songs like Distant Thunder from Secret of Mana. It's a great song, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't quite match the vibe of the world. Something about the slow, plodding nature of the game's tracks perfectly fit. It's what makes exploring this world feel so mystical, whimsical. You aren't in any real danger. There's no nasty creatures to fight or dangerous plants to avoid. You just bring life back to the ocean here. I'll show off one more spot before we go. I know I talk about it in almost every video that has a world boundary, but I can't help it. I am fascinated with the exact spot where the developers decide the game world ends. Here, you gotta swim really high up to reach the top of this cliff. Once you do, there it is, the world border. I mentioned this earlier, I love thinking about the world beyond the world. This is a spot to wonder about the vast ocean beyond. How many more sunken boats are out there? What other structures now rest below sea level? As much as I always love to talk about spots you can explore, spots you can't will always hold a place in my heart. The mind conjures images eyes could never dream of seeing. Thanks for watching.